Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone for joining in on this Q&A session that we shall be having with Mr. Paul Kaliisa, who is a fitness coach, health coach, life coach, and mentor within the whole fitness space. I think also works for Ultimate Fitness Kampala, but he will introduce himself and let us know more about that. Our official host, Timothy, has not been able to join us. He's having a few network issues, but once that is resolved, he will be joining in. But I will be taking over for now. My name is Passion Sankunda, and I am the CEO and founder of Afrocanfit, which is basically a platform that is trying to address the issue of how fitness has been made sort of like expensive, especially for like the average student. And we're trying to provide people with products that are affordable, but without compromising on the quality. For now, we do have fitness products such as resistance bands. And then we have the online workout programs, which one can do from anywhere at any time because they're basically digital. And yes, so one of the programs that we've been having for the lockdown was the Lockdown Body Blast Challenge, which has been an interactive kind of where we have Zoom workouts with Timothy leading. So that has been going on for the past 3 weeks, and we have one more week to go. Hopefully, we'll, I don't know, depending on how lockdown goes for us here in Uganda. But yes, that's what we have been having running currently. We do still have some programs that people can engage with on our website, afrocanfit.com, or our shop.afrocanfit.com. Yeah, so that's briefly an introduction about Afrocanfit, and I will let Paul, who has also joined us, introduce himself and let us know more about him. So Paul, feel free to take over.
All right, thank you very much. I hope you can all hear me. Please, Precious,
Yes.
let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Well,
Yes.
thank you very much, first of all, for inviting me to this platform and getting to meet young people like you who are already, entrepreneurs trying to change the scene in Uganda, especially within the health and fitness industry. Again, like I was introduced, my name's Paul Kaliisa. I do so many things, but today I'm only here just basically to talk about health and fitness, which is a very big passion that I have, which started way back in, I think, probably maybe like 99. And that's simply because we had a small coach who was teaching athletes at that time. And he had a small gym at his house. And we were very young boys at the time. I think that was probably maybe like primary school. And we got to really, he's the father of Michael Kasaija. Michael Kasaija used to work with Obsessions. So for all those who really remember Michael Kasaija, he was a very ripped guy, always looking fresh and clean. So that's the dad. And they were our neighbors in Nakasero. So we got to really get introduced to that lifestyle at a very young age. But at the time, we were not really actively participating into it. We're just basically onlookers and bystanders because this was a sport or a hobby for the big boys. And along the way, I picked interest and which slowly kept growing as I grew older. And I remember joining university, and during the holidays, we would train, walk all the way from Nakasero, come to work out at police in Nakawa. And that was because I had a friend. Yeah, I had a friend whose dad was a police officer and they had free access to the gym. So we would come. So I remember like in my first year, that's like literally training maybe like once or twice a week. But it's been something that has been growing slowly and slowly. And then in 2008, I started planning to move to Denmark. 2009, finally settled in Denmark. And then when you get there, basically, if you look at the Ugandan scene of fitness and health, it just basically goes times 1,000. in regards
Yeah.
to how much the whole society, how much the people are involved into it. So suddenly here was I with a passion that has been times 1,000. And yeah, so basically getting into the more professional part of it started. I think I worked out for around 3 years consistently. And then
Mm,
around 2000, I think 2015 is when now I said, okay, I need to kind of like take it to the next level. And the next level is obviously uh, becoming a coach, getting certified, and there's levels to everything. So you're starting off as a fitness instructor, you get some experience, then you come in and you become a personal trainer, get some experience, and then eventually things like class instructors and a nutritional
yeah.
coach. So yeah, so that's the whole journey of my health and fitness background. So I thought I would just give a small background around it, so
So
people
it
can get
has
to know me a little bit.
you've been in this industry for give or take more than 7 years, 8 years.
Professionally, yeah, professionally around 7. But then if you look back into like actively, I start all the way from 2012 is when I actively I mean like me going to the gym 4 to 6 times a week. Doing the whole consistency of training right, eating right, the whole line, basically walking the whole yard, starts in 2012. Professionally around 2015, I think 2015 until now.
No, that's
Mm.
very interesting. Wow. That
Yeah.
is very, very interesting. I think for me
Mm.
personally, the challenge I've faced here in Uganda is figuring out like what really works here in Uganda. Because the struggle that I've had the most was
Yeah.
comparing myself to like people's journeys abroad and not
Mhm.
understanding what it would actually take for me to achieve my goals personally here in
Yeah.
Uganda. So I don't know
Yeah.
if you also face such challenges when you were in starting out with like your fitness gains or something like that. But I
Mhm.
think the biggest challenge that we have here is understanding what it actually takes to achieve goals here within the Ugandan
Mhm.
context, because not
Mhm.
many people have actually shared their success stories. This information has not been like um provided like intentionally. I don't know, there's like a lot that is lacking. I don't know what you can say about that, or what challenges that you faced when you
Yeah.
were on your journey.
Mm. I think one of the most challenge that we face in Uganda is just basically a wide range of information. We don't have a place we can go and get information. So everything that we tap into is mainly information that is actually tailored for the Western world, right?
Yeah.
So so tailored for the Western world, what I simply mean is like when you look at the diets, for example, someone is telling you go and eat oatmeal. You go to the supermarkets here, oatmeal, 500 grams is around like 35,000, right?
Yeah,
That's 500
expensive.
grams. Yeah, that's 500 grams of which they're telling you that per meal every morning you're supposed to eat around like between 40 to 60 grams. So remember, it's 500 grams and you paid 35,000. Not so many people can afford that. That's almost you're shopping like every 3 days, right?
Mm,
So just for your breakfast alone, oatmeal, you're already doing around like 70,000, right?
yeah.
That is, we haven't included milk, we haven't included things like raspberries, chia seeds. So quickly we jump into a diet, you get it off the internet, and then along the way you realize, okay, this is too expensive, I can't even.
Yeah, I can't
I
keep up.
remember like, yeah, I remember looking around Kampala, a couple of supermarkets, and like just to find oatmeal, right? So one of the challenges is like we don't have a place where we can all go and find information that is tailor-made for us as Ugandans, right? That is
Yeah.
tailor-made for the things that we like to eat, the things, the type of foods that we have that are basically accessible for everyone. So we don't have that type of information. And then you find even the ones who have it are not willing to actually put it out there for you. And then we don't have a
Mm-hmm.
base, like, it's just of recent that we have started getting content creators, people who are on YouTube, people who are on Facebook, people who are on Instagram. And then we are kind of like still also in the trial period because we don't have
Yeah.
science proven diets. So we're not going into it and saying that, like, for example, like we're not even going into there and measuring, okay, if a Ugandan is taking milk, abroad, when you go and you find milk is graded, right? So you have the one that has like I remember in Denmark they had the 0.1, then you had the 5, then you had the 8. That's how much fat percentage is in the milk, right? So then they're going to make these diets that you find on Pinterest, that you find on Facebook, based off of those things. Then you come to Uganda, and our milk is not even graded at all. So we haven't even touched what science is telling us to do when it comes to nutrition. So I think those are the challenges around that space. When it comes to like working out and fitness, I think the challenge in that is kind of like the copy paste method, which I think doesn't work for everyone. Then secondly is that we don't really have a wide base of well certified trainers. Most of them are self-taught. Yeah, so most of them are self-taught. I really applaud them for actually even stepping up to the plate and saying, you know what, we're not going to sit and wait for an academy or for an institution to come and certify us. Let us do what we can. But again, the challenge in that is that you're basically getting what you did with someone who weighed 130 kilograms and giving it to someone who does 95 kilograms, and then you're getting someone who is 65, and then you're giving them a workout of someone who is like 110. So those are kind of like the challenges that are around. So yeah, I think if we talk workout and nutrition, those are some of the things that we face a lot in Uganda.
Yeah, I think it's positive to note that at least something is being done, because back in the day I used to struggle with finding the information that would work for me. And slowly by slowly, people are coming up, sharing their experiences. As you mentioned, the influencers are coming up. People are sharing content about these things. So I think it's really good. And also I applaud your wife. Oh my God, Claudia is very, very exceptional. Like, she has opened my eyes to so many things. And I don't know if she understands like the impact that she's making for us, but it's just send our regards to her and thank her so much because she's one of those people who's actually trying to break through the industry as well. So Timothy has joined us, and I think he will proceed from here. So Timothy, you can unmute yourself and then ask Paul the questions.
Hello, how are you, everyone? Good evening. Apology for the inconvenience. I had a small technical problem with my phone. I couldn't log in or sign in. I don't know what happened, but I switched to plan B. So hope you're fine. And thank you, Paul, for sharing the information as staffing. So I would like to go into the Q&A segment. Thank you also, Patience, for standing out for me also. I appreciate. So Paul, I hope you're ready for the questions. So I'll ask my 5 questions. Yeah, 5 questions.
Yeah. Is it like your 5 fingers of death?
Yeah, there are 5. Okay. Each question is like 2 minutes maximum, 1.5 minute question.
Sir.
So I'll start with the first question. What is your favorite style of training? Yes, your favorite style of training. What is your favorite style of training?
Yeah. Basically, my favorite style of training is resistance training. So I use a lot of weightlifting, free weightlifting, and for free weightlifting is I do that for everyone, whether you've ever worked out, whether you've never worked out. We start from there. Why do I start from there? This is the basic of working out. This is the basic of exercising, right? So before you jump into burpees, before you jump into, I don't know, chin-ups and all those things, you need to learn the basics, right? So the basics is we're going in and we're training you how to squat, how to deadlift, how to back row, how to keep your back straight. What does it mean when you lift heavy? What does it mean when you lift low? What does it mean to count? What does it mean to take a break? What does it mean to take a break? What does it mean when the break is 40 seconds? What is a break of 60? What is a break of 5 minutes? So I basically build up everything from weightlifting, and weightlifting is again what we're calling resistance training, and it's been proven. I have used this, like I've said, I've been training personal training for over 6 years now, On a one-to-one basis, I've worked with over 200 clients. On a class basis, I've worked with over 3,000 people. And again, if you ever come and you're with me and we're working out, I'm not good. There are things I don't do in my trainings. There are things I don't do in my exercises. There are things I don't teach at all. Why? Because I need to learn who you are as a client. So for example, like for us to get into burpees with a client is when we have worked out for like literally up to like 8 weeks of a client. That's when we start getting into things like burpees. So for me, it's always going to start from the basics, and the basics is resistance training, weightlifting, and in that area, free weights. Rarely do I go into machines. I start from the free weights because during free weights, we are working out a lot of other muscles, not just one body type. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I can also relate somehow there. I can relate. Number two, what's your opinion on the understanding of, we have all heard of the famous quote, abs are made from the kitchen. So what's your opinion and understanding of that statement, that abs are made from the kitchen in regards with belly and stuff?
Well, first of all, it's it's a fact. Abs are made in the kitchen. There's no doubt about that. Everyone has a six-pack. Everyone has abs, right? Because if you did not have that, you'd probably not be able to support your entire body, because the abs or the whole core, your abs are basically a backup system for your spine, right? So everyone does have a six-pack. We all have a six-pack. The only difference is that our six-packs are covered in layers of fat, right? So I keep telling people a lot of times, and I say that actually, if you go and you watch what you eat, your six-pack is going to come even without you going to the gym, with very, very minimal workout, very, very minimal exercise, of like you working out 15 minutes every day. But if you watch what you eat, and one of the examples that I like to teach when I'm doing a nutritional coaching is, like, I like to give an example of a baker, right? Or, you know, these people who make cakes and they bake cakes. So I like to give an example, and I say that when you get the ingredients of your cake, I'm going to make a chocolate cake. You go and you get all the ingredients, you measure them, you mix them, you put them in the container, put them in the oven, put it at whatever temperature you have to use. Eventually take it out, put it on the table. Now, before you come to the decorating part, that entire process that you just saw, from the moment you conceive the idea to the moment you take the cake out of the oven, that is whole nutrition, right? So that whole process is nutrition. What do I mean by that? Eating right, knowing what your body type is, knowing what you can access in terms of nutrition, knowing how many calories you should be consuming on a daily basis versus your workout and all those things. And eventually, when the baker, or I don't know how they call them, is about when they start the decorating process of the cake, they receive an order. I want a Spider-Man cake. Now, when they start doing the art on the cake, that's the workout part, right? So you see, he has used over 7 hours to get the cake to this point. That's nutrition. That's the 70% of your whole process of getting the six-pack. Now, when they start decorating and putting the Spider-Man, the decoration, the red, the blue, that is the workout. That's when you go to the gym. And this is when you've been on a nutritional diet, you've been eating well. And then now we're like, okay, now we need to tone you up. You know, we need to get your arms right. We need to get your body tight. We need to see the shoulders, the quads, the hamstrings. We need to see all of this. We need to see the long face, not the short one, because now you've lost weight and all those things. We are going to the workout. We're going to work out 3 to 4 times a week. That's the decoration part. That's the workout part. And guess what? It's just only 30% of your journey. So what we do, what we're teaching people is, we're saying you need to stop thinking about your health and fitness journey from the end. Think nutrition first, workout next. Never think workout first and nutrition next. No, it's to the reverse. You always think nutrition first and then workout after. So that's what we teach a lot. Yeah.
I hope they had that. I always have that argument with a lot of clients, and I tell them,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
all this starts from the kitchen, just like you've said, and just like that
Absolutely.
famous quote, abs
Yeah.
are from the kitchen. So nutrition is
Absolutely.
key when working out. That's the key point.
Yeah.
So question
And you
number
could also,
three.
I just wanted to add there, you could also go and work out as many times. You could even go and work out 4 or 5 times a day, right? Every day. If you're not eating right, you're not going to see any results at all. You're not.
So true.
And that's
So
guaranteed. If you could work out, go to the gym, run cardio. If you're not eating the right food, you're not going to see any results at all. And that's when you get clients complaining, oh, I work out a lot, I do this, but I don't see results. And that's simply because you're not eating right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. So question number three, thank you for sharing. Question number three, what do you feel is the most important characteristic of fitness? Like, what's your most important, what's that value that you value mostly in fitness?
Yeah. So this is not me. If you go to most seasoned coaches, if you go to most seasoned trainers, people have been in the game for a while. People who have been around a couple of clients, all types of clients. So we have trained from teenagers to pensionists to people who weigh 200 kilograms to people who weigh 60 kilograms. We have trained people who want to gain weight. We have trained people who want to lose weight. We have trained people with back injuries. We have trained all sorts of people, right? And the one thing we shall all agree, the one thing I can put to the test is just one simple quality, simple characteristic, please pardon me, and that's consistency, right? So the problem you don't get results is you're not consistent. So people think that I'm going to go to the gym and put in two weeks of work and put in maybe a month of work, and they expect to see I don't know, to see Brad Pitt or some bikini model walking around. It doesn't function like that at all. It is consistency, and the results start coming along the way, right? So I keep telling people, and I say, for example, you find a good characteristic is of when you find, can you hear me? Sorry, I ran out of battery. I had to change. Yeah. So you'll find a good characteristic is you find ladies in their 30s, 30 to 35. Normally they come and they've added weight, right? So then you ask them a question and you're like, so when do you think you started adding weight? And they're like, well, I was at university. I graduated around like at 23 years old. And then basically I've put on the weight from when I was 25 up to now. I'm 30, right? So it's taken them 5 years to put on the weight. And then they're coming and saying, I want to lose the weight in 2 months. I want to lose the weight in 4 weeks. Just think about that, right? One, we can lose the 15 kilograms in 2 months, but I guarantee you this is that in 2 months you have not learned what you call a lifestyle, right? In 2 months you've not learned consistency, and chances are you lose 15 kg in 2 months. We're like, all right, cool, thank you for your payment, see you, adios. I guarantee you 1 month later you're going to come up with the 15 kgs and even more, and that's simply because we never taught you lifestyle. So consistency is where I meet you. For example, if you are my client, we have a plan and we say, so this is the plan. My goal is to be with you for the next 6 months. And in these 6 months, we're going to train 3 to 4 or to 5 times a week. We're going to measure you on a 3-week basis. Every 3 weeks, we stand on a machine, we measure you, we measure your BMI, we measure your fat percentage, we measure your water, how much muscle you've gained every 3 weeks. Along this way, I'm going to teach you how to eat right. Along this way, I'm going to teach you how to eat when you're out with friends. I'm going to teach you to eat when you're at work, to teach you how to eat when you're traveling. I'm going to teach you how to work out the right way. I'm going to tell you not to worry when you skip a diet. I'm going to teach you not to worry when you skip a workout. And along the way, I will tell you that in the next 4 weeks, chances are we might lose maybe 900 to 1 kilo of workout. And then someone will be like, but why? And I'll say, but it's simply because from when we start in the next 4 weeks, we need to learn each other. I need to learn who you are. You need to learn who I am as a trainer. And along the way, in 6 months, if we say goodbye and I say goodbye to you, you will have learned how to, first of all, how to train right, how to eat right. When you get called out and invited to go for a party, you never stress. When you go on a trip and you're like, let me say I'm traveling from Kampala, I'm going all the way to Nebi. I don't know what hotels I'll find. I don't know what foods I'll find. You will have learned how to go through that process. You will learn how to go and spend a week in the village without stress, because they are cooking food you don't know about, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to the village now. My entire thing is going to be screwed up. You're going to learn how to go for a buffet. You're going to learn how to go for a wedding. And these are the things that we're teaching you in that center. So the basically consistency is the number one key. You can't come and say, yeah, I'm going to use 2 months and then expect that you've learned everything. No, consistency, small beats, so eventually getting you to the goal.
So we have consistency. Thank you.
Is the number one. Consistency is the key.
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Throughout the 3 years, it's consistency that has
absolutely
made me reach to the level I am as someone who likes to work out and build muscle by muscle, year in, year out. So I'll go to question number 4. This is the person one. It's to you, Paul Kaliisa.
Yes,
how do you, as Paul Kaliisa, manage your fitness goals? You take us like in 3 to 4 minutes. How do you manage your fitness goals? Yeah.
So
up to now, like that consistency. How do you keep it up and how do you manage it? Can you give us a brief journey through that?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. So basically, I keep telling people, and so if we go back to the first key that I told you about consistency, is that one, you need to have at least 2 training programs every year, right? That's the minimum. 2 training programs simply means you alternate the program every 3 months. So I get a program. Remember consistency. I get one program and I run that program for 3 months. And then I switch it to the other program. Why 3 months? It's simply because at 3 months, your body has gotten used to this routine and it stops resisting change. It stops resisting to give you, it will start saying, I know what Timothy is going to do. He's going to the gym today. He's going to squat. He's going to jump. He's going to lift. He's going to, chin up. And the body's like, yeah, we've been doing this for 3 months, whatever. But then when you switch the program, then the body's like, oh crap, now we are starting all over again. And you kind of like reboot every 3 months, and you reboot the program, you reboot your body, and your body's not getting used to that system there. So one of the things that I do normally is that every year I have different goals, right? So there are times where my goals are to bulk. Bulking simply means that I want to go from like, right now I weigh around 120 kg. Bulking simply means that I want to gain more muscle, have more muscle on my body, and be as lean as I can be. Or sometimes you're going to go, I have goals of being as lean as I can be, simply meaning that I want to take my body fat percentage to the lowest that it can be, right? So based off of those goals, then I'm going to go out and create programs for myself that are rotating around those goals. The number one mistake that you have, or that a client will do, is they go out and just start working out without a goal, right? And if you don't have a goal, how are you going to know what's the right program to use, right? If you don't have a goal, how are you going to know what period of how much you should be running a program, for example? So the first place I normally start out is, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. I have a program. I want to bulk, or I want to get lean, or I want to lose weight. And then after that, I make the program based on how many days I can afford in a week, right? So it's not going to be off of like, oh, okay, now I make a program that is going to be 7 times a week. It's going to be, again, based off of my time. If I can only put in 3 hours of work every week, that is 3 days a week, then I'm going to make a program that is tailor-made off of that. So the process for me is figuring out what I want to do. There are days, for example, like when I put in almost like 3 months of just basically lifting heavy, right? lifting as heavy as I can be, lifting heavy weights. And then there are days when I just basically go, if I've done 3 months of heavy weights, then I'm going to alternate that. And the next 3 months, I'm going to go lightweight. So simply means that if I've been, let me say, deadlifting around like 180, 200 kilograms, which basically means I'm deadlifting maybe around like 5 reps, giving me around 2 to 3 minutes of rest time for 3 months. Then I'm going to go all the way down to around like 60 kg of deadlift, lifting more reps. So I keep alternating them like that. Based off of the goals that I have, I create programs that are tailor-made, normally around 3 months for myself. I hope that answers you. So that's my process. Again, also bringing nutrition into it. But if it's for workout, that's the process that I go through. And I think that's the process that everyone should be going through. Thank you so much. Hi, Timothy. Can you hear? Did you get that?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. So thank you.
So, yeah, thank you for sharing. Fifth and last question, then I'll leave the rest to the audience to shoot a few questions. What inspires you, or who's your model? Like in terms of fitness, we're talking fitness, but who's your role model in fitness? Give us that one person you look up to and you're like, this is the guy. Yeah? We all have that guy we look up to and we're like, this guy, who's your role model? Yes, thank you.
I think, thank you very much, Timothy. I think that for me at this level of where I'm at, I no longer have a lot of body goals. So I'm at a level in my life whereby I don't have a lot of body goals because I've been through it. I've weighed 90 kilograms before. I've weighed 140 before. I've weighed 100 kilograms before. So I've kind of like been up and down the ladder of body goals. So I've been lean before. I've had a body fat percentage of 7 before. I've gone as far as bulking, where you look at me and you're thinking, oh God, this is like a bodybuilder, right? So I've been through all of this. So I don't have body goals anymore. So for me right now, the goal is basically, just please pardon me. Yeah. So the goal for me again is in the sense of knowledge, right? Knowledge and how much I can acquire, how much I can give out. And the only person that I normally look up to right now, there's 2 people that I look up to. One is a coach who is all about knowledge sharing, and he's called Atlin. Atlin is if you're really struggling with understanding workouts and what this workout does, the benefits of this workout, what are the basics of these? When I'm doing this, what do I do? He's on YouTube. He's on Instagram. He's called Atlin, and that's basically ATHLEAN. Atlin. He's been on YouTube forever. He's a coach and basically a physical coach. His background comes from physiotherapy, so he teaches a lot about training the right way, working out the right way, avoiding injuries, progress, And then also like one, I would probably maybe call someone who is a lot more business oriented, business minded, but still within the health and fitness industry. I don't know, Timothy, if you know Mike Rashid. He's also someone that I really look up to.
Yeah, the black guy with a beard. He's dark. I know him. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I've seen him.
So basically, so I like Mike Rashid because he's been in the game for a very long time. This is someone who has pretty much the same principles like I believe in. He basically does basic workouts, but every year he gets better and better, and then his business goals are just basically out of this world. True. So those are my 2 people to go to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mike Rashid. I think that I can relate because I'm a big fan on Facebook.
He's amazing.
I also follow him on Instagram, YouTube, subscribe to the channel. I always see him selling some, stuff like supplements. He puts there and he's like, the first people to do this will get this. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I like the guy. Yeah, I like him. I'm also like looking up to that guy. So thank you so much for sharing. Those are my 5 questions. In case
so
anyone
much.
out there has some burning questions, something you want to know or inquire from Paul, please come through. You're welcome to also ask your question. Anyone out there?
We do have some
conversation.
questions that have been shared in the chat from those who are around. There's a question from Desire Kamanzi. He's asking, would you recommend fasting for weight loss?
Now, again, we need to think about health and fitness in a holistic way, right?
Yeah.
Holistic simply means that when you're getting to, if you're getting into something, if you're going to lose weight and you choose a method, we need to think about the results. And then after that, we need to think about the impact or the effects of that result, right? Or the process that you chose. So fasting, how many times are you going to do fasting a year is the first question. Yeah. And if you're losing weight, for example, I brought this here. Let me hope everyone can see it. So I brought this here and I wanted to use it. I use it a lot. It's basically, it's a napkin. It's just a napkin. Yeah, it's just a napkin. Can you see it, Patience?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it's just basically, it's just a napkin. And I like to use this a lot as an example. And I keep telling people, and I say, this is your fat cell, right? So we have like 1 million fat cells in our body. The moment they are there, they will never go away. Never. Let nobody lie to you. When you lose weight, your fat cells don't go away. They just basically shrink and they stay on your body. So when they shrink, if this has been a fat cell that was big and they shrink, then they become that small. So you're going to imagine 1 million of these like that on your body. And then you're going to go and starve and say that I'm fasting for the next, let me say, either I'm going to fast for 14 days or 30 days, or I'm going to fast water. You know, there's so many things that people choose. But what you do is you starve this fat cell, and this fat cell basically it shrinks and it stays on your body. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays on your body. But guess what? This fat cell becomes 10,000 times hungrier than it was before, right? So when you go and you lose and you fast for, let me say, 10 days, 30 days, 40 days, and then in those 40 days, let me say you lost 10 kilograms. These fat cells never went away, they just shrunk. So what happens to you is that after the fasting, if you didn't teach yourself the right practices and the right things to do, is that as soon as you finish, you break your fast and you go back to eating, and you never practice the right methods, the right ways, how to eat right. In a space of 1 week, you could literally go back to 10 kilograms. And that's because the fat cells were hungry, and you go back to that in the space of 1 week, you go back to 10 kgs, just like that. And that's simply because these guys have been hungry. And as soon as you break your fast, they absorb every nutrient that you're taking in and they don't burn it. And basically you go back to 10 kilograms. So fasting, you can lose weight, but I never recommend fasting because again, what's the rush? What's the rush of you losing 10 kilograms in a month and not practice how to sustain that after that? If you're not teaching yourself to sustain the 10 kilograms that you lost, if you don't teach yourself to go from 90 to 80 and how to stay at 80, then you basically didn't do any work at all in those 30 days. So yes, you can lose weight, but it's not something that I recommend at all because you have not learned how to sustain the new body weight that you have. So thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I answered that or any other question. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely gave like a whole different perspective on this. I don't think anyone has ever shared from that analogy you've just used. But yeah, I think Kamanzi, that should be able to answer your question. The next question is from Douglas. How would you create an agility and endurance workout routine for like a month? And what workouts would you recommend?
Agility and what? I beg your pardon?
How would you curate an agility and endurance workout routine for like a month or something?
Yeah, thank you so much. Basically, what we're doing in such a situation is who is the person going to be doing this, first of all, and what is their fitness background, right? So, what is their fitness background? So, the way I make programs, first of all, is I start from background. I get to know what's your background, what's your fitness background. Have you been training 5 times a week, 2 times a week? Have you never trained before? Are you an athlete? Athlete simply means that you probably maybe work for a sports company, play for a football club, basketball club. Simply means that you're training a lot. You're doing cardios of around like 2 hours every day. What's your background with injuries and all those things? And then as soon as we get there, then we get into like, what do you like to do? So the other mistake that we do as trainers is we think everyone loves to go to the gym, but that's wrong. You know, there are people
Yeah.
out there who don't like that. Like please don't take me to the gym. I don't want to go there. I like being outside. I like running. I like jumping. And then we make a program that is based off of that. So after we have gathered all that information, then we're going to go into testing your things like your cardiovascular. How fast are you? How slow are you? What is your highest? How far can you go with your BPM per? That's basically beats per minute. Do you get like at 140 and you get stuck there, or can you push it all the way to like 160, 170 and sustain that for like 5 minutes? And then also we don't increase it normally, like for very, very high intensity workouts, we keep them around like half an hour, because you've basically been doing around 140 to 170, 180 for the last basically 25 minutes, obviously with rest period. So I think it's built off of something like that. And then normally, because you're doing like a lot of agility training and things like that, then you kind of like normally you change them, you twitch them a little bit. So twitching them simply means that if you've been basically been doing like burpees, then we're going to add burpees and like a chin up, for example. You're doing 2 burpees and a chin up also in there. So we are building them around that space there. I don't know if that answers your question.
Douglas, I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah.
that does give an insight on a thing or two. Timothy had something?
Yes, I would like him to give us his last advice and remarks before we close up. Yes, Paul,
Yeah.
thank you. Paul Kaliisa, thank you for
I don't know
attending.
I think there was another question. I don't know.
Another question? Yes, let me see.
Yeah. Oh, no,
the other
no.
question
I was
was in relation
it
to
was
the
the
other.
same, yeah.
For me, mine would be so you've talked about this holistic approach, and I think this is something that many of us struggle with, is we want these results quick, and yet we got to this place for over quite a long period of time. But like, how do we get to the point where we now understand what is actually needed to achieve a certain goal? Because I've also faced this myself, whereby I've lost weight before, and then I went into strength training, but then I was not able to keep up because then I had now school to go back to, and then the finances became really difficult, and so now I sort of like fell back on my goals, and now I'm at a point where I'm really stuck. Like, I don't know how to move forward, how to like proceed, and I'm also in this space where like I want things to be done so fast, because there is this pressure around me that, you know, I'm trying to grow a fitness brand, and now I'm looking a certain type of way. So it's there are a lot of challenges I'm facing at this point, but like I would want to get your advice on how to move from, how to like have a holistic approach, like to have a different approach to being healthy, as opposed to just achieving goals. How would you what would you advise someone who's they say hit a plateau?
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's a very, very good question. I think I can relate, because as a business owner, and you being a business owner too, within the fitness industry, I can understand the challenges and the pressure for you to actually behave a certain way, live a certain lifestyle, because again, you're promoting a lifestyle, right? And if you're promoting that same lifestyle, you have to be the role model. And one of those things that really I had breakthrough with was I think about 4 years ago is when I entered into the realm of understanding that it's not about me, it's about them, right? So it's you as a business owner, it's not about you, it's about them. People are coming to you because they trust that, they trust in your brand, they trust what you're doing for them, and they believe that you can change their life, right? So you need to stop looking at yourself and start looking at what can you do for the people, what can you give to the people, what can you do for your clients. And when it comes to you, the pressure needs to be drawn away from yourself and put back into looking at it in a much more positive way of saying that, at the end of the day, I'm a human being, right? I have ups and downs. People see what they see, but then there's the back end work that they don't see, right? There are days I'm busy procuring with the Chinese manufacturers and shipping and all that stuff there, and you forget to eat dinner. You forget to go for a workout. The next thing you know, you're sleeping at like 2 a.m. to wake up at 4 a.m. again and start the whole process again. And you're having like, my nutritionist said I should be eating 4 times a day, and you barely even had one meal, right? You started on one meal, but you barely finished it. So I think that again, if we go back into the part where we spoke about consistency, what you need to look at is look at your surroundings, right? Forget the gym, forget the workouts, forget all those things. Look into your surrounding and say, what can I change around me right now without having a huge impact on school, on the business, or having a huge impact on, even the lockdown itself, finances. What can I work with in this space right now to help me get to where I want to go? So then we go into the space of saying, okay, I feel like I sit on my computer every day. I'm constantly on phone calls. I'm constantly interacting with clients, constantly interacting with suppliers, manufacturers, partners, and all those things there. I am in here for 8 hours a day. What am I going to do? So here's the deal. Either I am going to wake up early in the morning and take a walk, right? It costs me nothing. It just basically costs me like maybe less sleep. That's if you still have to go to bed very late, right? I'm going to wake up in the morning and take a walk. And I promise you, half an hour every day of a walk every day. If you did that in a month's period time, you will be shocked by the result, right? So this has not had an impact on your finances. This has not had impact on your physical strength. It's just basically changing your routine of going back into that consistency of saying, okay, I'm going to plug in and half an hour every day, go for a walk. Next up, we look at saying, okay, so one of the things that I practiced actually was, for example, that I have water. I can actually show you. So you see this guy here, right? And the reason I use this guy is because I know it's strictly 1.5 liters, right? So my deal normally is when I sit on this computer, I don't get away from this until I've finished this. Right? So even if I'm going to get away and like I need to go, I literally force the whole water down my throat, go fill it up, come back with it. Right? So these are basically small rules that I've made with myself. This guy here, I fill him up with water and I know he's 1.5. So normally I do around like 4 of these, right? Then we go and then we say, okay, if I can't remember my meal time, I'm going to put in an alarm, right? And as soon as the alarm goes off, you go. You go. So I don't know if you've heard about, do you know Mel Robinson, the 5-minute rule? You know her?
I think I've come across her, but not really.
So Mel Robinson is a very famous personal coach and growth coach, and she has this thing called the 5-minute rule. No, the 5-second rule, and it simply means that when the thought hits, you need to act on it then. If you go past 5 seconds, chances are you're never going to do it. It's the same thing as waking up in the morning, taking a decision. If it has to do with strategy, if it has to do with finances, if it has to do with a decision with a manufacturer, a client, 5 seconds. So normally what you're going to do again is like, for example, like your alarm went off, you don't procrastinate, you just get up and go, right? It takes 90 days to break a habit. Eventually you're going to find that what happens, which is maybe, I don't know if you've come across this, is that on the dot, without an alarm, you get hungry. and you can't function. Just think about that. If you practice this for the next 60 days, moving on the alarm and eating on the dot, I promise you that as soon as you start entering that, like the third month, you get hungry no matter what. Your body is used to that. And as soon as that minute hits, like 5 minutes into it, you feel like your body is not functioning because you need to go and get a meal. So it's creating things. It's looking at your surroundings and saying, okay, I need help. What help can I do? One is the water. You need the 5-second rule. Again, is looking around yourself and saying, what can I do? There are people who don't like to work out in the morning. There are people who like to work out in the evening. You find the time that you really enjoy a workout and you plug it in. I am someone who likes to work out in the morning. I hate evenings. So all my workouts are always going to be early in the morning on an empty stomach. I never work out when I've eaten because I can't function. So I normally work out on an empty stomach. Again, another trick is understanding that if you work out on an empty stomach, your body's burning the calories, the calories that were from yesterday's eating. But if you eat breakfast and then go for a workout, your body's going to burn what you just ate, right? So that is my trick. Stop. I know that you're going to stress because I relate to it. You will stress and think, I need to go to the gym. I need to show up, but don't do that. Basically look at your surroundings and plug that in, and that will lead you there, and allow yourself to go through the process. Don't push it. Because the reason why you keep giving up and you keep dropping is that because 2 weeks in and you're like, man, I've only lost 200 grams. What's the point? Right? So you need to quit that pressure and let the pressure be on. Put the pressure on your consistency instead. Don't put it on results. Put it on the challenge. On like reward yourself. By the way, for like drinking 4 liters of water. Reward yourself. Find a reward yourself and be like, I've walked 3 times this week, and my reward is going to be like a soda, or I'm going to go and buy like an ice cream or something. Reward yourself. We need that, and no one is going to do it for yourself besides you, right?
All right.
So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
It does so much. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Sometimes you just need to be reminded about these things. Like you need to hear it from someone, and then it sinks in even deeper. So hearing you like reiterate these things has definitely like given me a whole excitement to start the week off with these changes. So thank you so much for that. Timothy, did you have something to add?
I was just listening to him, and I was just enjoying to listen to what he was saying, and because I was learning a lot of things I don't know. So I have nothing to ask. I'm satisfied. just satisfied right now. I don't know. I'm out.
Okay. All right. So I think that's it for this Q&A session. It has been really insightful. I'm so honored to have had you join us in for this session. There is so much that I've learned. Like I've literally written down on this piece of paper. Like I need to first like sit down and internalize and and just share these gems that you have shared with us. So thank you, Paul, so much for joining in with us. I think he has left, but and everyone else who has been part of this Q&A session, thank you so much for your time. In case of any questions, if you'd like to know more about Paul, just head over to his website, paulkaliisa.com, and you'll find more information about him and probably how you can be able to reach him in case you needed his services. And I think that's it from us. Thank you so much again, and have a blessed evening.